In biology, the concept of a need is defined as a selective dependence of an organism on certain factors of the external or internal environment. For example, pain triggers the need for safety, while a drop in blood glucose levels triggers the need to eat something. Biologists are primarily interested in our basic needs in the context of the fact that we are living organisms. They simply call them biological needs to satisfy hunger, to rest, to survive, to produce offspring. However, in addition to these, philosophers and psychologists have identified many other kinds of needs: social needs, spiritual needs, aesthetic needs. These are far more difficult to study, and biologists and physiologists prefer to deal first with more straightforward problems. Of course, a person may suddenly feel a strong urge to admire blooming cherry blossoms. We understand this feeling perfectly well, yet this attraction to beauty is extremely difficult to study at the level of specific neural networks and neurotransmitters. By contrast, needs such as food, reproduction, and safety are much easier to investigate. All these needs can be modeled in animals, and naturally, these areas have been studied far more thoroughly. All this biology is genetically embedded in the brain. The domain of needs consists of the original programs pre-installed in our brain's computer, and without fulfilling them, we simply cannot function properly. When a person manages to satisfy a particular need, they experience positive emotions. If they fail to satisfy it, negative emotions arise. You have probably noticed that you become irritable when you are very hungry. People, just like animals, organize their lives in a way that allows them to experience positive feelings more often and negative ones less often. Needs are like beacons that guide us through life. The emotions that arise when they are satisfied or not satisfied form the basis for learning. When you do something correctly and obtain what you wanted, you experience what people today like to call positive vibrations. Against the background of such emotions, the brain remembers, all right, in order to eat these tasty dumplings, you need to buy them and cook them. If the need is not satisfied, the emotions are negative. In this case, the brain records another lesson. It is not a good idea to add so much salt and overcook the dumplings because they turn out awful. There is a chain: need, emotion, learning. This chain constantly operates in our nervous system, and it is one of the most important components of mental activity. The sphere of needs has been studied by physiologists and psychologists for a very long time. What neurobiologists today call a need closely corresponds to what Ivan Petrovich Pavlov once described as groups of unconditioned reflexes. The term the unconscious, introduced by Sigmund Freud, also clearly overlaps with the sphere of needs. Truly rigorous and precise scientific knowledge about needs began to emerge only in the second half of the 20th century. The process of studying them continues to this day. In the 21st century, new technologies have been developed that allow scientists to enter the brain and observe how individual nerve cells function and how various chemical substances influence our different needs. The influence of needs on our lives is so great that it is fair to say that they rule the world. After all, absolutely everything is built upon them, from the way we organize our daily routines to the marketing strategies of large corporations. Therefore, next time we will learn how needs are classified.